Hi, this is my reflection video, so I will basically just look at the questions and try to answer them, and maybe you will have some information then. What did I like about this course? I very much thought that the essays were pretty interesting to write because of the topics that you had suggested were very interesting in of it themselves. But also the stories that we read were very historical and important to culture for the most part. So that meant learning a lot about the times of the Victorian times, and also about the great literature history that I haven't explored on my own at all or at school before. So it was very interesting. Were there any particular tasks? No, there weren't particular tasks that I liked the most. I enjoyed the whole course very much. The essays themselves were quite challenging, and I'm a bit disappointed with myself that I didn't get the marks that I want on them. But yeah, I hope that they were good enough, and I learned a lot about writing. So what task did I like the least and the most? As I said, I liked every task. How well I did on every task is debatable, but for the most part I enjoyed every task. Was there enough time to complete all assignments? For the most part, yeah. Every essay had enough time. One thing that I think we also postponed a bit was the Twitter task, or the one before it. I don't quite remember. Yeah, there was a bit of timing issues, but I don't think it was anything to do with the course's planning, but I think it was more how our other subjects influenced our timing. So we really ran out of time there, just as a class as a whole. Would I change anything about this course? Since I don't know much about literature, now I know quite a lot about Victorian literature, but as I didn't before, and I would not consider myself an expert at any margin now, then I would just say that no, I wouldn't change anything huge. It was one of those courses that we have had that was, I think, repeated throughout the years quite a lot in our school, so it was very well polished, and the timing for all assignments and stuff was very accurate, and we for the most got things done on time and stuff like that. And we had enough time to read every story and like that, so I wouldn't change anything. It was very good. What kind of assignments would I like to do more? Well, we hadn't had any assignments, for example, like the Twitter task or the one where we analyzed poems, but I get that the poem tasks are tough to do or replicate in other courses and other literature courses, but I think the Twitter task, like to have one or two of those during our course, was very exciting. And yeah, I don't want to say fun assignments, yes, but I would categorize them as more like very creative tasks, like tasks where we don't write anything per se, like of our own creation, but we transform these other people's brilliant writings into something that can be useful for learning, but also for just having a laugh. So for example, maybe take one of those poems that we analyzed and maybe create some sort of thematic music around it. Music software is so easy to use and download, and it's very good. Software is free, and maybe making it like this sort of composition for the poems to go along with it, and maybe create a video where the poems, words, or stanzas are shown, and the music is for the background. That might be very fun to do. Oh, I will take away from what will I take away from this course? A complete overview of the Victorian literature. A lot of short novels and poems, maybe not some other forms of literature, but I was able to read very, very iconic literature, which I have always wanted to read, but can't do so on my own because of a lack of motivation sometimes, and other times just lack of interest. But I will take away really this part of history and culture that I have never. I can't put it into words almost. Both the American and British literature courses have been very influential on me in terms of the person who I am now, later after those courses. I reflect that in my future writing, of course, and as the person who I am, I like to tell stories every day, along with the things that I'm just discussing with my parents or friends or something like that. And I now have this whole array of new examples and things I can bring when I'm just debating even, or just having a conversation with some other people. And I think that is the whole point also about these two courses. Amazing course overall.